War is violent and causes a lot of damage. It ruins people's lives, countries, and cultures. War affects our past, present, and future. That's why people are interested in it, including filmmakers and people who watch movies. Movies about war show us how people behave when things are really bad. War movies aren't always about celebrating the military. Some of them are against war, or they criticize the leaders who started wars. Today we will talk about the top 10 war movies ever made. Some of them are well known, while others might surprise you. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to the Cine Wizard and hit the bell icon. Let's get started.
Stay back!
Они того заслужили.
You're just too soft-hearted. You're not tough-fibered enough.
Have you ever had anyone die in your arms, sir?
This is the end, my only friend, the end.
Ce qui passe, mon vieux, c'est pas la musique, c'est pas les instruments. C'est le bruit des pas.
Clint Eastwood. Divento scemo.
Domani andremo da Don Pietro. Mi avevo perso di nascondermi per qualche tempo in un convento. Ci andremo insieme.
Let's start our countdown with number 10, Where Eagles Dare from 1968. In the middle of the 1960s, World War II movies were getting a bit slow and boring. Alistair MacLean comes in to shake things up. He wrote the screenplay and the novel at the same time. Brian J. Hutton directed the movie and brought together a great cast, including Richard Burton, Clint Eastwood, and Maria Ray. The story is about a group of soldiers dropped into the German Alps. They have one day to rescue an American general held in a fortress. But there are a lot of surprises along the way. The movie is full of action with chases and gun battles. The final fight on top of the cable cars is unforgettable, and Richard Burton looks like he's having a blast.
Clint Eastwood.
At number 9, we have Rome Open City from 1945. This movie by Roberto Rossellini shows the Nazi occupation of Rome and the bravery of the Italian resistance. One shocking scene shows a woman getting shot in the back while running in the street. What makes this movie special is how real it feels. Rossellini started working on it as soon as the Allied tanks came into Rome in June 1944. He used whatever he could find to make the film, even using the streets of Rome because the film studio was being used as a refugee camp. Some parts look like they could be real news footage. During one scene, a passerby even tried to stop actors who were pretending to be Nazi officers. The story is like a thrilling game of cat and mouse between the Gestapo and the resistance fighters. Alongside the war story, we also see everyday life, family arguments, and life stories which make the movie even more touching. Directors like Martin Scorsese and Jean-Luc Godard have praised it as a precious moment in a film history.
Scemo.
Domani andremo da Don Pietro. Mi avevo perso di nascondermi per qualche tempo in un convento. Ci andremo insieme.
At number 8, we have La Grande Illusion from 1937. Jean Renoir directed this movie, and it's not your typical war film. Instead of focusing only on the fighting, Renoir looks at the people involved and the ideas they believe in. One big idea in the movie is about the European aristocracy. These were rich and powerful people who thought they were above the war. They believed their class was important than anything else. This idea is challenged by characters like Marshall and Rosenthal, who come from different backgrounds. The movie suggests that Europe's future relies on more than just social class. Film also shows the harsh reality of life as a prisoner of war. La Grande Illusion is not just a war movie. It's a thoughtful look at people and society during a difficult time. It's no wonder it still resonates with audiences today.
Mon vieux, c'est pas la musique, c'est pas les instruments. C'est le bruit des pas.
Coming in at number 7 is The Deer Hunter from 1978. This movie is directed by Michael Cimino, who was fairly new to making movies when he took on this big project. It's one of the first major Hollywood films about the Vietnam War, which had deeply affected America. The story starts slowly with a long scene of a wedding in a small mining town in Pennsylvania. Then we see the main characters Michael, Steven, and Nick go on a hunting trip. But suddenly the movie takes a dramatic turn as they get caught up in the war. They end up in a brutal situation where they are forced to play a dangerous game of Russian roulette by their captors. Even though they manage to escape, the war leaves them deeply scared. When they return home, they struggle to fit back into their old lives. Michael, played by Robert De Niro, goes back to Vietnam to save Nick. Some parts of the movie, like the Russian roulette scenes, were criticized for not being realistic. But they serve as a powerful metaphor for America's involvement in the war. The Deer Hunter is a gripping film that shows the true cost of war on those who fight it. At number 6 we have Three Kings from 1999. Directed by David O. Russell, this movie is a mix of black comedy and conscience. It tells the story of gold heist that happens after the Gulf War in 1991. The movie starts in the Iraqi desert, where Sergeant Troy Barlow, played by Mark Wahlberg, shoots an enemy officer in a moment of confusion. But in the chaos of war, nobody really knows what's happening. Along with his colleagues, Sergeant Major Archie Gates, played by George Clooney, and Sergeant Chief Algen, played by Ice Cube, they plan to steal gold that Saddam Hussein had taken from Kuwait. The soldiers find themselves in unexpected situations, like when villagers mistake them for killers because of a misunderstanding involving a cow and a bomb. The movie challenges the idea of American triumphalism during the war and mixes comedy with the horrors of battle. Three Kings isn't just about the gold heist, it's about the human cost of war. Every bullet and every life counts in this gripping film that makes you think about the true impact of conflict. At number 5 we have Come and See from 1985. Directed by Elem Klimov, this movie shows the brutal reality of the German occupation of Belarus during World War II. The title comes from the verse in the Book of Revelation, which talks about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The film follows a young boy named Flyora, played by Alexei Kravchenko, who joins the resistance against the Germans. But instead of being protected, he faces horrors that quickly shatter his innocence. Along with a local girl named Glasha, Flyora experiences the traumas of war firsthand. Come and See doesn't shy away from showing the savagery of war. One shocking scene depicts the burning of civilians in a village church. The use of non-professional actors as Nazis and victims add to the movie's realism. Despite being set in rural Belarus, the movie's message is universal. It's not just about Russian people and landscapes, it's about the collective madness of war. Klimov's intention is to show war as a form of insanity, and he does so many haunting imagery and powerful storytelling.
Они того заслужили.
Ranked at number 4 is Ran from 1985, directed by Akira Kurosawa. This movie marked Kurosawa's return to greatness after a period of struggle. It tells the story of an aging patriarch, Hidetora, who loses control of his power and kingdom. The title Ran means chaos, and that's exactly what happens when Hidetora tries to divide his kingdom among his 3 sons. Similar to Shakespeare's King Lear, Hidetora faces betrayal and tragedy as he realizes his mistake too late. The film is visually stunning, with breathtaking battle scenes and the haunting score by Toru Takemitsu. Ran is not just a war film, it's a meditation on power, aging, and the consequences of our actions. Kurosawa's masterful storytelling and powerful imagery make it a must-see for any movie lover. At number 3 we have The Thin Red Line from 1998, directed by Terrence Malick. Based on a novel by James Jones, the movie is set during the Guadalcanal campaign in World War II. However, Malick's vision of the war is more of a dream than reality. The title, The Thin Red Line, symbolizes the infantry, but also the beauty of the Pacific Islands where the battles takes place. We see soldiers fighting to take a hill, but we also see the wind blowing through the grass and the wildlife thriving amidst the chaos of war. Some critics found Malick's approach to be artistic and unconventional, but the film's beauty and depth drew many viewers in. Nick Nolte delivers a standout performance as a troubled colonel, showcasing the complexities of military leadership. Overall, the film is a thought-provoking and visually stunning exploration of war and humanity.
You're just too soft-hearted. You're not tough-fibered enough.
Have you ever had anyone die in your arms, sir?
At number 2, we have Paths of Glory from 1957, directed by Stanley Kubrick. This movie is one of the darkest anti-war films ever made. It tells the story of a doomed attack during World War I and the injustice that follows. General Bullard orders an attack even though everyone knows it's doomed to fail. When the attack fails, he looks for scapegoats to blame. Colonel Dax, played by Kirk Douglas, is tasked with choosing 3 soldiers to be unfairly punished for the failure. The movie is based on a novel published in 1935. Kubrick brought it to life with a script by Calder Willingham and Jim Thompson. Kirk Douglas not only starred in the film but also produced it. The trench and attack scenes were filmed on a tight budget, but Stanley's direction and the striking black and white photography make them memorable. Paths of Glory contrasts the luxury lives of the officers with the harsh conditions faced by the soldiers. Kirk Douglas delivers the powerful performance as a leader struggling against injustice. The film doesn't offer much hope or mercy, but it ends with a touching moment that hints at a brighter future. At the top of our list is Apocalypse Now from 1979, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. The movie is based on Joseph Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness and is set during the Vietnam War. Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen, is sent on a mission to find and terminate Colonel Kurtz, played by Marlon Brando, who has gone rogue in Cambodia. The film's production was as chaotic as its storyline. Brando arrived on set unprepped, causing delays and challenges on the production team. Martin Sheen suffered a heart attack during filming and a typhoon destroyed sets. Despite these setbacks, the movie went on to win critical acclaim, including the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Apocalypse Now became a classic with its surreal visuals and memorable quotes. It also led to a resurgence of interest in the Vietnam War in Hollywood.
This is the end, my only friend, the end.
These top 10 war movies offer gripping stories and powerful messages about the human experience during times of conflict. From the chaos of battlefields to the struggles of individual soldiers, each film sheds light on different aspects of war. For more videos, subscribe to the Cine Wizard and press the bell icon to get notifications.